Hello everybody, and welcome back to episode 15 of Cave Factory, where we have a little bit of a predicament. In the last episode, I said I was going to put a poll in the description, which I did, and you guys will have the chance to answer on said poll, but right now, it is 9:40 a.m. on a Wednesday, and the video goes out today at 3 p.m. So I don't have results of the poll yet because you people haven't seen the poll yet. So I can't decide between Blood Magic or Botania just yet, which means that we're going to build an elevator that's going to lead us down to Blood Magic and up to Botania. And the reason for an elevator is because stairs are lame and we can do that in vanilla. So in here, we're going to use sticky mechanical pistons with a little bit of super glue and a little bit of piston extension poles to just get something that's going to go up for however many blocks we need, and also down for however many blocks it's going to need. And that should provide us with a cool looking, nicely button activated elevator. I have a very specific design in mind for the Blood Magic area, which means that we need to have it far enough down that we're going to have space for the blood altar to be raised a little bit, and have a bunch of space above the altar as well for what I am planning. And for that, I thought I was going to need to go down much lower than I really need to. And I don't, because we have all of this space back here that we can use for Blood Magic. And as far as Botania goes, it's going to be all above, and we don't really need much space underneath it, to be honest. For anything, we just need a little bit of space for wiring. Plus, I left a little bit of like a transition gap here on top and a little transition gap here on the bottom, because we do have our wires set up over here on this side, and we can have that space on the other side if we need to run some cables or something. And now, to tackle the elevator, we're going to have this sticky mechanical piston down here with a bunch of extension poles. It needs to be long enough to go all the way up here to the top. So to test that, we're going to just grab a hand crank like this, and we can shift to crank it to go all the way up. And I'm going to keep on adding extension poles as far as I need. We need a little bit of redstone magic if we want to properly control this elevator, and 2 floors are super easy to automate, which is the bottommost floor and the topmost floor, because we can have this running to the negative, which means that the default state of the elevator is all the way down on the bottom floor. And then if we press this button, it's going to take us all the way up to Botania, like so, because it just changes the direction and it goes all the way that it can go. And if we press this, it's going to take us all the way down to Blood Magic, right? So that is simple to do. What we have is just a redstone link here and a redstone link here, and ignore this for the moment. So what this redstone link does is it triggers the power latch to flip it to a different direction, which makes the elevator go up because of this gear shift, which changes the direction that the shaft goes through the gear shift. And then if you give it a signal on the other side, it flips this back and it goes down again. So that is super simple to do. The other difficult part is to get either the timing right or somehow detect when we're on the middle layer or when we call to go to the middle layer. So what I want to have is this button takes you to Botania, this button takes you to the middle layer. So I want to press this. It needs to switch this direction to go into a different direction. And then it needs to also stop the clutch at the appropriate time. And then I need to also remove the clutch when I need to go from the middle layer to anywhere else. A little bit of redstone has been done, and we have a portion of the elevator working. So this side controls the Blood Magic Botania thing. Super simple. On this side, on the other hand, we press this button, we end up here. And if we press the Blood Magic button, we end up downstairs. The problem goes with the Botania. We don't have any sort of way, as of yet, to go to the middle layer. We can only go either to the top, to the bottom, or from the bottom to the middle layer. And that is due to how I have the redstone right here. So when you press that right button over there, what happens is one signal goes through this line, which is a black insulated cable, which means that it doesn't connect to this white insulated cable. And that triggers the power latch, which triggers the gear shift to switch directions, and it takes you up. So that is this line. This other line goes through the repeaters, which have 1 second and 1 tick of delay. And after that, it triggers this powered latch, which is on by default. And it turns it off, which means that it turns on the clutch, which stops the gears from moving. And it stops the elevator and the middle layer. This part is just the reset switch. So when you push either of those buttons, either on the top or the middle on the bottom, it's just going to reset this so the clutch is not activated and the elevator can move freely again. So the other thing that we need to do is from the top, we need to trigger into this line as well. And then we need to trigger into here again. And I don't know if we need the same timing going from the top to the middle. I think we might need a bit of a longer timing because it's more blocks. So we need a separate line triggering the clutch, which means, you know what we can do? We can put a redstone link on the clutch. And that gets triggered in the back with redstone. Yeah. That'll be easier than doing everything else. Yeah, I think that's going to be simpler. I did the best I could with the knowledge of the create mod that I have. And I have constructed an elevator. So if we press the button over here, this will take us to the middle floor, like so. We can then press this button, which takes us all the way up to the top floor where our Botania area is going to be. From here, we can push this button, go back down to the middle floor, and down back to Blood Magic. Except I've gone too fast again, and it broke again. I think I can push this, and it's going to fix itself if we go back up top. Yeah, there's this one glitch that I had. It happened to me twice while I tried recording these clips. Okay, so that is a bug. We'll see if I get to it. We're never gonna use the elevator in such quick a sequence that I just did. We're probably gonna click, go down to Blood Magic, do something with Blood Magic, and then we're gonna go back and then go up again. So it's never gonna happen. And to explain the redstone, hopefully I can explain it to the point where you all understand what is happening. And for that to happen, I'm going to split it into a few sequences. So basically, down way there below, we have the sticky mechanical piston with our arms extending all the way down. We can go like this to see. So our arms go all the way down there. And here we have just a regular gear shift. We have 2 shafts, a clutch, the motor, and the power. And we're controlling the clutch with this redstone link with the 2 red wools. And then we're controlling the gear shift with the black wool on the other redstone link. Okay? So what needs to happen when we push, let's say we're gonna go that we're here on the bottom at Blood Magic, right? So when we have to go upstairs to Botania, we have to trigger this guy, right? And that triggers the toggle latch, which triggers the gear shift to change directions, which basically means that it happens to, when we press this button, if I go back enough, it's going to go all the way because it's triggered the power latch, which triggered this, which triggered the gear shift, right? And then if we press the Blood Magic button, it would press this basically. So that would trigger the toggle latch this way, and it would bring everything down all the way. So that's the simple control. So that's this one and this one. And then these 2 are the control for the middle layer. So this one is from going from the Blood Magic area to the middle layer. And we do 5 ticks and 2 seconds of delay to trigger a powered latch, which then triggers a NOT gate, which then triggers the redstone link to trigger the clutch. So basically, when you push that button over there on the right, it triggers firstly the latch here to flip the direction so you start going up. And then it starts triggering the repeater, which then triggers the clutch to stop you at the right layer on that level, right? And what I had the problem with, if we increase this by 1 tick, you're going to see what the issues I had are. That happens. You get stuck like half or a quarter of a block or something upwards, which is why I had to reduce the speed of the machine and everything to get it run on the perfect timing, because I got it working for going from the bottom to the top, but not from the top to the bottom. And it was just a whole mess. So all that needs to happen then is we need to re-trigger the clutch to basically deactivate it, because if we press this button and not get transported up, so we're gonna do that, right? The gear shift is in a different state. The clutch is turned on, so if we would press any sort of button, nothing would happen because the clutch is activated, right? And we need to deactivate this NOT gate, which basically means that we need to deactivate the power latch, which basically means that we need to trigger this, which we trigger from here. So if you press the Botania or the Blood Magic button, it triggers the powered latch, which turns off the clutch, which brings the gear shift to its right position because it triggers that power latch over there. And that just sorts everything out. And as far as delays here on the other side, it's 3 seconds and 17 ticks. We now have the addition of fancy buttons with item frames dedicating places that we can go. So we're gonna go all the way down now. And here in the back is where the redstone is, but here is where we're gonna have blood magic. And then in the middle here, we have the buttons on the exact opposite direction, because most of the time we're gonna be coming from blood magic over to here, possibly to like add a pattern or something. And we're gonna be coming in from that way, so we're gonna be standing kind of like this, and then we can just exit that way. And when we're entering here to the elevator, whenever we go to, we can just exit directly out of there. So that's, I think, pretty cool. It is now the next day, and I have read your comments and read your suggestions, and also looked at the poll that I put in the last video. So we're gonna do blood magic in a moment. Firstly, I want to show you this. Somebody suggested that I put a little room for my dogs. So you can name these dogs if you put some names down in the description. I have 3 total. We can make more, but I think 3 is plenty. But yeah, I made them like a little fancy room on the other side of my bedroom, which was one of the suggestions. Also for this furnace, it has nothing inside of it. It's still running. So keep going. I'm going to hint a little bit. It's from Create, but not from the official mod Create. So there you go. That's your hint. Keep going. Yeah, I know you can do it. Okay, so blood magic. Let's make some space, shall we? I'm gonna do 3 on the left, 3 on the right. Well, let's do like 5 on the right and 5 on the left. And 0 on the down, so we don't go down below, and we can just aim here. And that should make a little bit of a room back here. Okay, we can see where our drawers are, which are gonna need to move at some point to their proper spots. But I'm gonna make this room a little bit bigger and see how we can get started with some blood magic. I wanna do a grand reveal. It's not gonna be that big, but we have our altar reassembled. We have placeholders for the tier 5 altar, which is gonna be runes in here and then bloodstone brick things over here where the redstone blocks are, and the rest is good. And you may be wondering where the drawers are. Well, they're right here. I still have to do the whole network card thing, which I totally forgot. So we need to go here and grab this guy and link it up. There we go. Now we should have the drawers hooked up. Yes. If we look at our quest list, we need to go through to the edge of a hidden realm, which is a ritual that will create a portal to the blood magic dungeon, which is a thing that is new in blood magic. I have never been there before. So I want to see what the size of the thing is. So I'm going to grab my ritual diviner. We're going to select the right ritual. Edge of the hidden realm. And if we right click, we should be placing all of the things, right? Ah, there we go. Okay, so that's the size of the ritual. So I need to find a proper spot where I'm going to put this. I think right here on the end should be fine. I think we're pretty much ready to go. All we have to make is a few of these iron keys. We got one from the quest reward here. I think I got this off camera because I had made 36 ritual stones off camera and I just accepted it and then I accepted the quest. So this makes a couple iron keys. I'm gonna get 4. I hope it's gonna be enough. Well, that's another impute slate. We can make 5 total. I think I have enough blood. It says it needs 80k. We currently have 145k, so that should be good. Okay, awesome. I assume, can you break these? I think that worked, right? Pillar. Aha. We can go through here, I think. We just right click. Hello. Okay, interesting room. Nothing that I get from here is really worth it, I don't think. Hello? But we need this Tau fruit, right? After right-clicking the central piece, you'll be transported to a room with 4 doors and a chest. If you're lucky, there will be a key or a few in a chest which opens the doors. Okay, there's apparently a chest. Ah, okay, you get 3 keys here. Okay, or a few keys at least. And then Lexicoptania, Ancient Tome, nothing really of use other than that. Okay, so in here it's like another portal room and a little nether fortress type of thing. Okay, so I assume we can just break these spawners. Yeah, hi Blaze, thank you. Okay, we have more Tau fruit, diamonds. And I'll take the enchanted scrolls and the living armor upgrades. That I will take, definitely. Next room. Okay, hello. Holy water, honing oil. Anvil, smithing table. And I think here is a spawner. Okay. Aha, okay. And get a blaze spawner. Oh, these are like invisible. Oh, these are invisible blazes, but I can see that I have the thing that does the thing where I can see invisible entities. The trinket is what I have. Let's grab that cow spawn egg because you have to do something special with this Tau fruit. I have to read. Okay, saturated Tau. Tau fruit can be grown like any other crop, but if you grow it with a mob, for example, a cow standing on it, every time the fruit hits the next growth stage, it will leech life from the mob. Every time it does, it has a 20% chance of becoming saturated. Patience is your friend here. The cow is on here. I did the damage. It did the thing. Okay, do your thing. I want to see if fortune works on these and if we get a bunch. It doesn't look like it. This one's not fully grown yet. There we go. I mean, you do get a few more, but it does work. We have the fruits. We can do this at home now. I kind of tore around the room. There were some ritual stones as well in the floor underneath all of those and in the middle as well. So I just grabbed those. I don't think there's any sort of ritual stone in here that we could grab. And I think that is pretty much it. It's just 4 rooms, right? It's nothing too special, in my opinion. I mean, there are other... I know I watched a video on this, and there are chances that you get random rooms, and I don't know if you, every time you leave and you come back, is it a new thing? No, it's the same thing. Because the weird part is, you can break these bricks, right? And you can come outside, and it's kind of like a void world. So I have an idea, since we have this, and kind of blood magic is about mob farming and bloodiness and all of that. We could use this area as a mob farm or setting up spawners and stuff like that. We could do that over there. But I don't know if I break this. I don't get anything back. Plus I lose my ritual stones. Okay. That's fine. We'll automate the ritual stones and we can do that again. We have to now craft a few things, one of which being the sanguine, I can't pronounce it. Sanguine reverter. That's what we need. And if we craft it, we get an Unbreaking 3 book, and then we need also an alchemical reaction chamber, which I should have everything for. And then you have to specifically find your orb. There we go. Okay. Let's place this here. We're going to toss this with an anvil with some Unbreaking just to make it last a little bit longer. I think we have XP. It's just the bug from traveling to the dimensions that it doesn't show. Yep. I could have relogged, but that solves the issue. Okay, Unbreaking 3. Put in the saturated Tau, and then we have a chance of getting blood shards. Yep. Okay. And these we craft with a piece of stone, like that. And we get 8 large bloodstone bricks. And I believe we just put these on top here. And I have all the runes made from before. And that should be a tier 4 altar. And now I just need enough blood to get an orb going, for which we probably should get a Well of Suffering up and running. I decided to just manually fill the altar for the moment, and then we can toss this in to craft ourselves the Master Orb. And we're also going to upgrade the Ritual Diviner, but that's going to be a little bit of waiting because I need to make 2 demonic slates. So in the meantime, I think we can set up the Well of Suffering. And I want to test, first of all. So it used to work that you could kill witches, or hurt witches, I should say, and they would heal everything back. So if we set this guy to be... yeah, there we go. Do we need to upgrade it? We need to upgrade it. Okay. Never mind. So we need to do the thing. We're going to take that. And then we need 2 of these coal blocks transformed, for which we need 2000 LP each. For 1 of these. And then another one of these. And then I need 2 demonic slates, which are going to require a whole bunch of LP. Demonic slate is 15k LP from an imbued, which is 5, so that's 20, 22. Yeah, I need 22,000 LP, so another full altar, pretty much. With these 4 items, we can craft the Ritual Diviner Dusk, which now should have the Well of Suffering and all of the other crystal things. Well of Suffering. We need 40k LP to start this. We have 43k. Okay. So we'll put in... Oh, we need mobs to be hurt. Okay, so let's put on a witch. Put the orb inside. And activate it. And we'll grab a lever just so I can turn it off. So we don't get into an issue. Lever. There we go. Okay. Boom. Alright. You're getting hurt. Oh, it works. It still does. Amazing. I have the Well of Suffering assembled underneath the altar. It is 3 blocks below the altar here. And what I want to try is how far up I can have the witch and it'd still take damage. So it's not taking damage here. Not here. Okay, so this is the lowest point at which I could have the witch, right? Which is not that great, but I can't really raise the Well of Suffering any higher because I would run into issues of these ritual stones they would poke out. But that's the lowest point, which is okay. So the idea that I had is to have witches in like cages suspended from chains down below. I think it might be best if we design the cages first before we put the witches everywhere. They are gonna work. They do weird glitchiness with glass. But the cages are not gonna be that big. I am gonna dive into chisel and bits to get the cages built properly. I constructed a cool looking cage and I have ran into a slight issue that I need bees. Because I need honey bottles if I want to make these patterns that are going to help us build another cage or multiple of said cages unbreakable in a way. Because if you make a sealed pattern, it doesn't break. The simple pattern breaks after one use, and to make another one, you have to hold the quill in your hand and then a paper in your offhand, and then you right click like this and it starts writing, and when you finish it, you get a simple pattern. And I could just make a bunch of simple patterns for all of these and then build it, and apparently I didn't save a backup, but I think we need bees. We need them at some point probably so to get honey bottles so I can make these patterns, so I can make infinite amount of cages, and I just want to get bees. So there's a 5% chance when growing an oak tree or a birch tree to get a bee nest spawn with it. Any biome should work. So I have like 9 oak saplings. And we're just gonna go. We have vein miner. We're just gonna place these down, and I'm gonna sneaky doodle, and they're gonna grow. If not, I'm gonna make them more space. I think I might need to make them more space. We'll make them some more space, and then hopefully, after a little while, we can get lucky and get a bee nest. Also, we need to put a flower, I think, next to the tree. This took all of 5 seconds. I just put down the flowers. Like, I broke 2 trees. I brought out the hoe so I could hoe the leaves and get more saplings. And it happened. We have bees. And we have 2 bees, which I will breed. I think I can just use cornflowers, right? So let's just break all of this. Will you guys make it a baby? Because there's only 2, and lovely with Wayla, I can see how many bees, or 1 probe or whatever, are in the nest. And now that we have 1 nest, we can get more hives if we want more bees, but I'm just gonna grab a campfire that I have here. We're gonna put it... We need a trapdoor, because otherwise these bees are dumb enough to go onto the campfire and get hurt. So we're gonna do something like this, and then place a bit of grass around, like so. I'm gonna give them some flowers, so they can, they only need 1 flower, so they can pollinate. And once they come into the hive, I should be able to block them off with some glass, and we should have a little bit of a bee farm, and getting us some honey bottles. After a little bit of time with our bees, we have 2 sealant, and here we can craft the last 3rd sealant, and I assume you just craft this with this. No? The sealant can be used to make simple pattern. Protect no hold right click while holding a simple pattern in your other. I might have only needed 1 sealant. Because we need to put, it's probably... Yeah, okay, you do, it's okay. Just need 1 sealant. I assume it has durability, but it gets immediately repaired. Or it maybe doesn't have durability. But that works. Okay, so you just need 1 honey bottle. That's fine. I want to keep basalt and the blaze lantern with andesite casing kind of style for the middle part of the base where we have our ore processing and everything. And here I just want to use blood magic stuff. So the tiled stone path and the tiled wooden path and the other paths that blood magic has, which means that I need another lantern or light source per se. So we have elder sea lanterns, which would be perfect because they're brownish, but you need elder prismarine. And elder prismarine by default, I think, in Quark, is just found around ocean monuments or maybe even in caves. So I don't know if that spawns in the Twilight Forest. I have no idea. I have a portal to the Twilight Forest here. We could try and go down below and see if we have Quark caves. Probably, you know what I'll do? I'll go in Spectator and check, because I don't want to spend 2 hours trying to find Elder Prismarine if it exists. If it doesn't exist in the Twilight Forest, then we can cheat 1 in, and then we can make the rest, because you only need to find 1, and then you can duplicate it with regular Prismarine, which we can regularly make, with Prismarine shards, which we can make by tossing quartz into water. I flew around for a little bit in the Twilight Forest, and it looks like there's only Twilight Forest caves, so we're just gonna do a little bit like this. If I could find it, naturally, I would go and find it, but I can't. So now we can just duplicate it. So we do this, and this, and this, and it's a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. And all we have to do is keep 1 in the system, and we are never gonna run out if we don't use all of it. So I'm gonna make a bunch more prismarine and just duplicate it, because now we can do a stack at a time. I think my building energy and creativity for the day is pretty much spent, and I need a refresher for doing something different, and I just need to go outside. It's really sunny. I need to do something other than stare at a screen for a moment. So with all that being said, I think it's a good wrapping up point for today's episode. So I want to thank you all so much for watching. I am really hoping you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. You can also subscribe to get notified of when new videos go live. You can also support me on Patreon as well if you want. And I will see you all in the next episode. Have a good one. Bye-bye.